exciting.
Hear what I say. We are the business today.
What's up, everyone? So, my very first movie review in video form. Yay. I'm quite excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I'm talking to a phone, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, Black Panther. First things first, a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie for whatever reason, go watch it. Just go watch the movie now. The movie was awesome. Alright, it was a great movie. I want to talk about how, as an individual movie, it was brilliant. The storyline is great. The characters are great. I loved the action scenes, the CGI, how beautiful things were done. It was fantastic. As a Marvel movie, though, it didn't really hype up Infinity War, which was a bit of an issue for me, because Infinity War is coming out in less than 2 months' time. I think it's April, May. Depends when the release date is. So they haven't really done anything to hype up Infinity War. They mentioned Bucky a little bit. They had a Bucky cameo, and then that's it. So as a standalone Marvel movie, like Ant-Man, for example, they have its own little universe, its own little thing that it does. It introduces the characters, which is great, but it didn't really hype up anything towards Infinity War, which is coming out soon. So that was the only thing I had to really sort of was on my mind. It has nothing to do with how great it was as a movie, though. As a movie itself, it was brilliant. Some things that I loved about it, just the fact that the African themes in here are huge. I mean, they speak Xhosa all the time, which is great. Like, it's as a South African, it's really nice to see that and just to hear that. And I can imagine as some Xhosa speaking people, it must be even better. Because, I mean, for me as a South African, it's quite cool. I mean, an example of that is in Elysium, where the Charlotte Copley's character sings Jan Pirewit, and I mean, it's an Afrikaans song, and I'm Afrikaans, so that makes it like, oh, it's so exciting. Jan Pirewit, stand still. But I can just imagine how much influence you have when you speak Xhosa, then you can just hear them speak in a big Hollywood movie, and this is one of the biggest movies of this year so far. That's just, first of all, an amazing feat. I'm going to make a hash of her name. She plays Michonne in The Walking Dead. It's Julia Carrera. Michonne in The Walking Dead is great in this movie. She plays the general. She is a badass. She rocks that spear like it's nobody's business. She just kicks ass in this movie. I love her so much. She really has like a sense of power when she's there, and you sort of get scared of her and think, okay, wow, she's really gonna kick my ass if she wants to. And I'm really excited to see her in Infinity War. She's been next to T'Challa in the trailer as they're doing that charge scene, and she's there and she's fighting, and I'm really excited to see more of her. The city of Wakanda is beautiful. The CGI is really nicely done. I love the futuristic vibe of the city along with the African styles. It's really nicely done. Makes the place look awesome. The technology is great. Some of the names are query a little bit, like those juju beads. I just thought of Dragon Ball Z the entire time. I couldn't help it. And I know that one thing that bugs me, if you create something in a sort of futuristic world where you can heal a bullet wound to the back, in future Marvel movies, if anyone is injured in that way, or injured at all, I would just, first thing that would pop into my mind is, just send them to the lab, they'll be fine. So if anyone dies because of injuries and they didn't send them to the lab, I'm kind of just like, oh, well, you could have sent them to the lab. We saw it in Black Panther, you can't hide it now. So that's the thing, they have to remember that now. Say the injuries have to be quite severe for someone to die, or else just Wakanda can help. And I'm like, well, we know they can help. They're helpful now, so let them help. Something I didn't like about the movie, Marvel seems like they have to have 10 jokes in every movie. You have to slip in 10 jokes for it to be a Marvel movie, so it's funny and like vibrant and like not dark, DC, like that. So some of these jokes really didn't work. They were very dry. I found it like that kind of humor. It wasn't good. Like the sneakers joke, where she was talking about how quiet the shoes are. That didn't work at all. Him coming out of the snow and asking for a blanket. It's like, does anyone have a blanket? And you're like, it's much better off being like a moment of power than let's slip a joke in there, because that's classic Marvel. Something big happens and then you slip in a little joke unexpectedly and people are like, oh, ha ha ha, it's Marvel, it's funny, it's light, it's bright, and like, yay, I love Marvel. So that didn't work for me at all. Something that bugs me a little bit, a lot of the times if people try and do the African accents, they don't get it right. Many characters, let me get this straight. Many characters got it right. Many actors got their accents spot on. Some of them, you query it a little bit, where you hear them saying their African accent and then their American slips through, and you're like, okay, I can. It's not perfect, but I mean, this is the movies. One accent that was really surprisingly good. I mean, we've seen it before, but Andy Serkis, his South African Afrikaans accent was brilliant. I loved every second of that, and I was very sad to see him go, but he had to die in order for the new villain to come up. And Michael B. Jordan's villain, the Killmonger, he's a great villain. You sort of feel for the guy. He was left behind, and you see this, and you see how he suffered, and he wants to just help his people. Yes, he did in the wrong way. We all get that. That's why he's the villain. But if he had just sort of chosen the right path and become king, and then decided, okay, you know what, I'm actually going to do some good, but without killing a bunch of people, that would have helped. Because that's in the end what Wakanda needed to do, is to help other people and to come up and help those that are oppressed. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to kill people in the process. Killing is bad, so that's not good. I don't know about the rhino scene. The rhinos, riding the rhinos, it didn't work. I feel like rhinos, they looked a bit comical and looked a bit silly. I'm pretty sure they weren't used in the later movies, and it's not going to come in there. But this is just me really being nitpicky and like bugging at the movie, because otherwise it was quite great and it was a really fantastic movie. So it's tough for me to find things that are really bad and really wrong with it. So I got a nitpick. So the action scenes were amazing. The fight scenes were awesome. The storyline is really great. I love the conflict with T'Challa and how he feels about his father and how he feels about how he's supposed to be king and how he's supposed to look after these people, and the different visions. Like, he wants to do this, but he knows that this is right, and he has to change the way Wakanda thinks, and it's difficult for this guy. So I really love that story of coming into power and seeing how he has to rule and how he's supposed to be king and this warrior and still kick ass. And this is in a Marvel movie. This is supposed to be superheroes punching and fighting each other the entire time. So it's great to sort of see a different storyline coming in, and it's great to see this sort of new vision that Marvel has, because a lot of their movies are getting so much better in quality, and I love that. And it's not just kick, punch, fight, brooding scene. So it's really great. 2 end credit scenes in this movie. The one with Bucky was okay. I mean, you kind of expected to see Bucky. He was mentioned briefly in the movie. Oh, another crazy white guy, another white guy for me to fix. And now you see him. He hasn't got his arm back yet. So you're like waiting for that to happen. It's good to see him, but I was expecting more for Infinity War. I don't know what training Bucky is going through. He's becoming the White Wolf, apparently. I don't know. They call him the White Wolf, and I was going like, I don't understand, because 2 of the animals in the movie now already are not African. First of all, Black Panther. You don't get panthers in Africa. I mean, you get leopards, but you get panthers in South America. And the White Wolf, you don't really get wolves in Africa either. You get an Ethiopian wolf, which is just like a really skinny sort of coyote-looking thing. It's not an actual wolf. So some of the names of animals, poorly chosen. I want more African animals. But that's just the biologist in me thinking, I want African animals. Why not call them something else? I found it great to sort of get the origin story of the Black Panther and how he got his powers, because honestly, in Civil War, I knew nothing about him. He kind of just popped up, and I didn't know that he had superhuman strength or anything like that. I knew he was badass and he was like trained and things, but now to get this story of the purple flower that he eats, it really really helps a little bit, because I was curious about that. I was curious about, okay, is he like superhuman? What does he have? What's going on there? I don't know. So it's great to actually see that, and I'm a little bit sad that the Killmonger, he burnt all the flowers, because I was hoping to see like a few Black Panthers or something like that, because you saw all the potential. You saw how many of those purple flowers there were, and I thought, okay, great. That means there could be more of them. That can be like quite strong, and they could be a force to be reckoned with. Like maybe each tribe leader has its own version of the Black Panther, you know, like I can't remember the guy's name, Nkubu, I think it was. That gorilla tribe, he could have his own Black Panther warrior, or his Black Gorilla warrior, or something like that, and each of them sort of represent and then fight. But now that he killed or he destroyed all those plants, I was kind of like, oh, you idiot, why'd you do that? So that's a little bit frustrating, but it's nice to see the origin story. It's nice to see how he came about, and it's nice to see how that whole story is now just him. He's the last Black Panther, and I wonder if more of those plants are going to come around somehow, but otherwise he will be the last one. I really like this. As a Tolkien fan, I enjoyed seeing Bilbo and Smeagol talking to each other again. That was great. They were quite fun little roles and little things to see. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Andy Serkis is the actor that plays Gollum in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and Martin Freeman is the actor that plays Bilbo in The Hobbit. And they have that little interrogation scene. They are Agent Ross and Mr. Claw. So when they spoke to each other, I was just sitting there like, riddles in the dark, it looks so cool. So that's just like a little nerd moment for me, and all the other Lord of the Rings nerds out there thinking, haha, yeah, it's fast. Cool. So I'm not going to go any further to little details and things like that. I'm going to end off the review here. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think about the movie. Let me know what you think about my review. This is my first review, so I'm excited to get feedback. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put a little subscribe thingy over here, and other things and magical things are going to appear over here. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Said I'm pumped up, they call me rap. Yeah. Fabrics, material.